What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, GGFOREX here, and on today's video I'm going to be showing, or not showing you anything really, but just showing my reflection on my challenge and my progress so far. I'm still in it, hasn't been great, as you guys know, it's been pretty rough, but I've learned a lot, okay? I want to sort of show you what I've learned, how I feel about the markets, how I've managed to sort of tweak and adjust and bring back certain things into my trading plan to make it safer. And what I've realized most of the time is my mindset. So I found out that when I used to do my TMS system, my trade management system, my mindset was a lot easier to deal with, if that makes sense. And obviously after reading Trading in the Zone, it's helped me a lot. But really understanding about taking partials, the only downside to taking partials is, or there isn't really a downside, but in a, how would you say, a time frame situation like FTMO, when you got to make 10% in 30 days or whatever, you open your first trade, yeah, it's 10% in 30 days. So if you take partials, it's going to take you longer to achieve that. And obviously if you get a good setup, maybe one or two good setups at the start of the month, maybe you couldn't find one again for the rest, you may be starting to panic a little bit, because in your head you may be thinking, oh, if I just did 1% risk for those two trades, I would have passed it by now, it's finished with. But obviously I didn't. I did half risk and then split those into two again. Then obviously the safer you trade, the longer it's going to take you to get to that goal that you need to in that certain time frame. So that is the downside, but the plus side is your mindset. For me personally, let me know in the comment box let me know in the comment box below if you guys feel the same. Like, the safer you trade, the better you feel, the less anxiety or the stress or the fear or the FOMO or whatever you have, right? When you just take a small win and then cover your stop loss, and then you have that feeling of, I don't care what happens next, because you can sort of walk away then. You've already managed a trade, you've already got profit from the trade. Let's just say you're going from 1 to 5, your first take profits are 1 to 2.5. So it goes halfway in your direction, which a lot of the time our trades do. You take a bit of profit off the table, you take half your position off, you've bagged that profit. Now, in your head already, you're not gonna worry if the chart goes down or stops you out, because price comes back at break even, because that's how my TMS works. So whatever the move is, half of it, I'll be taking half the trade off, and then the stop loss goes to break even. So I know whatever happens next, I've already bagged some money, if it goes halfway of course. Stop loss is at break even. So if there's some scary news coming out, or if there's some weird price action I don't like, my mindset is already gone. I don't care. I'm already looking at the next opportunity, because that trade's already managed. If it carries on going, great. I haven't been stopped out and I've taken more money off the table. Now my position's closed, maybe look for a re-entry on a different time frame or whatever, right? So I feel like that my TMS system definitely helps with my emotional side of my trade management, which is one of the hardest things to learn. So I feel like I'm definitely going to implement that onto the challenge that I do. Obviously I'm still in this challenge. I've added the TMS system into my UGA trade, which I'll show you in a sec. I'm in, it's looking good. But I'll just show you what I mean by the breakdown of the TMS. It's a 1 to 4, so obviously my first TP's at a 1 to 2, then it goes to break even, and then whatever happens after that happens. So mindset wise, TMS is great. Downside is it takes longer to get you 10% if you're doing a challenge. But obviously if normal trading, that's great, right? Obviously you want to have that sort of mindset release, the pressure release, the stress, the fear release out of your trading when you know you can manage it correctly. So I feel like, and you don't feel bad as well. So if your price moves like 1 to 7 in your direction, you've already taken money off the table, so you don't really care what happens next. Like, there's no emotional investment in that, which is great, because obviously you detach yourself emotionally from the profit, especially if you're trying to get something. I think the worst thing about trading when you're in a challenge is trying to get the challenge. You know what I mean? So all your fears and emotions are like hyped up way more than they would do normally if you're just trading for yourself, if that makes sense. So let me know in the comments below if this makes sense or am I relating to you in any way, because I'd love to know how you guys feel. But when you're in a challenge, if it goes 1 to 7 and you take half of it off and then you leave it for whatever reason, I don't know, you just take half off, move the break even, come back the next day and you've been stopped out at break even, but you've taken half off. You don't care as much when you're not in a challenge, because you don't need the results as much, if that makes sense. You know, if that makes sense, let me know, because I'm trying to make it make sense. But the caring of trying to get a certain percentage per month is out the window. You don't care. You just want to stay safe, protect your capital, make what you can, and obviously withdraw that at the end of the month because you want to, you know, go have fun or whatever, or compound interest and leave it in there. But the goal of trying to get this many percentages at the end of the month isn't there, so the stress isn't there. So you're not forcing things, you're not stressing about things, you're not fearing of, oh no, I'm gonna have to do this whole process again because I haven't quite made the target, etc. So I feel like, yeah, that's this difficult side of trading, a challenge. Normal trading without the challenge stress or the time frame, great. I feel like you can it's two different ways of trading, and it's more prominent to me now than it is before, and it's managed to break it down and digest certain things of how I like to trade, but how do I have to trade to pass a certain thing in a certain time frame, right? Because obviously I like to trade the high time frames. Obviously high time frames move slower. In your time frame confined environment, or a time schedule confined environment, that could add pressure. And then obviously you need to risk more to make more faster. And obviously if you risk less and it moves slow and you're only taking half off, then it takes you longer to get to your goal, if that makes sense. So all these factors play into it. Doesn't mean you're a bad trader, it just means how can you get through the trial period so you can trade how you want to trade afterwards. I feel like that's the key, and that's the tricky thing that most people suffer with, including myself, most definitely myself. As you guys know, I like the high time frames and I like to take risk off the table, but when you do that, it kind of jeopardizes you actually passing the challenge with the right amount in time. So the MentFX, obviously if you guys follow MentFX, let me know in the comments below. He's obviously got a funded account, right, where you can get 10, well, if you make 10% in however long it takes you to pass, great, you're funded. And I think that's amazing. The only thing I want him to do now, and if you can and you do follow him or whatever, just smash his comment saying get C Trader, because I hate MT4 MT5. I can't stand it. It's literally like, I hate it. Okay, as you guys know, I've never liked MT4 MT5. So if I had that MentFX Ment funding or whatever he's called it, and on C Trader where I can just get 10% in however long I want, I would definitely pass that. I've done it a million times. As you guys know, I've passed FTMO's 10% in a month like 4 or 5 times now, right? So I would have definitely been funded already if I had that, if I was in that sort of challenge environment. But it's just the weird, at the moment, I always seem to be suffering with the verification stage. I don't know why. It's obviously a mindset thing. The strategy's there. The techniques, the skills to make 10% in a month, the 5% in a month or whatever are there. It's definitely a mindset thing. So that is definitely one thing that I need to change 100%, and I'm working on that, and I think TMS is going to save me from those weird mindset bumps and interruptions that you get generally as you progress through trading. But yeah, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you my UJ trade that I am in and my AM one that I'm still waiting to get triggered. But yeah, so I'm using TMS on both of these, and obviously it plays out great, superb, and then we can move on from there. Obviously I've still got a month left of the verification stage, so that's great. So let me just show you what I mean. Okay guys, so we're on UJ. As you can see, I've been triggered in the trade. I was going off this 3-hour time frame, and it's come down, it's flagged down to a nice, and it's given me a nice reaction to the top side. Obviously we've got targets on multiple time frames. It's come back into my logical area, and if I scroll down to maybe the 10-minute time frame, you can see the little accumulation it's had in my logical area, which is great. Obviously, you know, made equal lows, liquidated them, pushed higher, made targets, come back down, mitigated the candles, and then we've had a nice impulse up during New York Open. So this is a nice accumulation, and obviously if you have a look at the RSI as well, you see price pushing down, RSI pushing up quite aggressively as well. So this is all great, but if you have a look closely, let me just zoom out again so you can see, I have got this red line saying TP1 76 pips, which means when it hits 76 pips, it takes half my position off and my stop loss automatically goes to break even. The annoying thing with C Trader is you can't preset this without the trade triggering first. That's the annoying thing. So you can map it out, plan it, do what you need to do, but you can't actually set TP1 to be here and then stop loss move when it does this many pips. So that's the downside with C Trader, but it's just a nice way to take partials. So obviously when other trades trigger in the future, like I will show you in EN, it will get halfway, it will take half off, my stop loss will go to break even, then I don't care. I've already made money out the trade, I've already got paid for my analysis or whatever, and then you can move on. So as you can see, I'm going in on the 8-hour time frame. I know you guys are freaking out going, why are you going on an 8-hour time frame? Just because it's the cleanest for me, it makes a lot of sense in this area. Because this is the last up candle before this huge down move. It lines up in the fib zone, it's taking liquidity, all that stuff. So this is where the sells came in to break this low, and then make these targets to the downside. So that's the reason why I'm going in on an 8-hour time frame. As you can see, it's a 1 to 5 move, but halfway of the move, which is a higher probability of price getting down halfway because it isn't taking out this swing low. If it was gonna push up, come down, test this area, right, and then push up again, that could happen, but it doesn't matter because I've already been in the trade, taken money out, and I'm now risk-free. But I've already made money from the trade, so I don't care. And because of that, I don't care, it helps. And I know in trading that you need to stop caring about what happens, but actually doing that is very difficult. And putting a system in place that makes that happen is a lot freer for me. I can deal with the I don't care thing very easily because I don't actually care now. I've taken what I wanted to take, what I've planned out and wanted to take from the market anyway. So if price comes lower and I get more, great. If it doesn't, great. I don't care. I've been paid, I'm risk-free, I can move on. And by having that mindset switch will help me out greatly in the future. In the future, just by having that I don't care mentality will, yeah, I know I keep repeating it, but it's super important, and obviously it helps you guys as well to have that I don't care about what happens in the price after that, then it's great. I feel like it will help out a lot of people, this TMS system. So if you guys are going to implement it into your trading, let me know. Okay guys, so that is my TMS system. That is my update on my FTMO, where I am. I've got my last 2 attempts left. Obviously last 2 attempts is on UJ and AN, right? Got my TMS in play, and I feel like that's a huge bonus to you guys as well, of making your trade management in a way that gets rid of all of your stress and fear and emotions from the trade. When you've already taken money out of the market, you don't feel bad if it comes back at you and stops you out, because there's nothing worse than seeing money in your account or in your equity and then seeing it all disappear and you're actually at a loss. That's, to me, that is the hardest thing to deal with. That is the emotion that really gets me the most, of I could but I didn't. You know, that saying, that feeling in your head of, oh, I could have got this if. So instead of dealing with that, beating yourself up, getting angry, getting emotional, and then repeating the same problem in the next trade, why don't I implement a system that takes that out for me? You know, if it doesn't go halfway and stops me out, then I definitely know I got in the wrong trade, and I'm okay with that. But if it goes over halfway, I don't take any money from it, and it reverses and takes me out at a loss, then that's my fault, that's my problem, that's my bad trade management. So obviously putting the system back in will definitely help me out in those regards. But yeah, hope this video helped you out, guys. If it has, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to try TMS, let me know how you progress with it. But yeah, so love you all, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.